CFG Game Cast, episode number 234, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers alike to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episode on the weekends and release it on all podcast services, so do us a favor and show us some love by liking, following, subscribing, and commenting on our YouTube page, the CFG channel, or go to our main website, confreaksandgeeks.com, to not miss an episode. I am Mr. CFG Games himself, Davies Screen, and with me today, I'm with my two awesome co-hosts. I got Lex in the second seat. What is going on, my cyborg?
All of the cyborg things. I didn't play any games this week. Spoiler alert, my hands have been killing me, so I'm trying to just like give them a break. But even reading and like holding my book, I'm having to find like weird ways to like clip my book. But I read too fast, so then I have to unclip all the pages, and it's a whole thing. But holding my book with my hand hurts. So I don't know. I've just kind of been chilling, relaxing. Unfortunately, I'm going to the doctor's like 3 to 4 days a week at the moment. So I get home and I'm like, I just want to watch a movie and crash out, which is nice because that's what we've been doing. So just relaxing. Got into Adam really likes, how do I explain this? Reality TV shows. I don't. I think they're funny sometimes, but like I got him into the Mormon Moms of TikTok TV show on Hulu.
I didn't know that was the thing.
Yeah.
What? Did you just make that up? Because I have never heard of that. What? The Mormon Moms of TikTok?
Yes. And they have their own like show. It was a whole scandal. And I had heard about it, even though I'm not on that side of TikTok. But Adam, he was playing games last night. He's like, can you turn that up in there? I'm listening. So then he came in. He's like, okay, wait, who's who now? So he paused. And I'm like, that one's Demi. That's Taylor. She's the one that started all this. That's Whitney. She thinks she's the queen bee. So it was just like being goofy.
Oh my God.
But see? These women are trifling.
Fantastic. Stop watching that and just watch Letterkenny. You'll be fine. There you go.
We've watched all of Letterkenny several times. He fell asleep at one point and he kind of wakes up to roll over and he goes, "Oh man, did I miss it?" I said, "No, you're fine."
Wow, that is crazy. That's funny.
Yeah. So that's kind of just what we've been doing. Just been hanging out. I've been making up songs for the kittens. Just weird cat lady things.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I need to watch the last 3 seasons of Letterkenny.
Really?
They just finished They finished up the series, which is great. So I can actually
it was still I don't know why I didn't think it was still going. I thought I had watched all of the episodes. I guess I have not watched the last season then.
Yeah, and then they did a spin-off with what's his name, the hockey player that no one likes. Forgot his name, but that guy is hilarious. So anyways, that is a great.
Oh, that's gonna bother me.
Yeah,
what's his name?
We have Shorzy. There you go. Yeah, Shorzy.
Shut up, Shorzy. Yeah.
Everyone is that is such a great character.
Shorzy's hilarious.
Yeah.
That show is fantastic. I love Letterkenny.
So
it's very
I've
much.
only watched like maybe a couple episodes.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah.
Once you get like 5 episodes in and like you start to understand the lingo, it's like learning a new language in like a very quick span of time.
So
like
funny.
how East Coasters speak differently. You're like, oh, okay, I'm getting the hang of this. Or like British people, how they use different slang terms for things we talk about all the time here. So it's really funny.
One of my favorite things in that was the innuendos that they have when he'd always talk to the Amish married couple.
God.
It's like their last names, they're the Dicks. They're DYCKS. And then but then every time there's an issue that's happening and they're asking for his help, there's like it's just an innuendo storm of just randomness. It's like you just can't help but laugh on it.
It's hilarious.
Very funny. You need to watch it. But you know what, Lex?
What?
You know who finally decided to come and grace us with his triumphant return?
Yeah.
I do. Her name is OPIE. No, I'm just kidding. His name is
the 5-star general. The Marquis. The 5-star general of the itty bitty Smitty committee. I got Smitty in the third seat. What is going on, my dude?
Yo, it has been crazy. crazy. We just got back from PAX West out in Seattle this past weekend. Good and bad, of course. Not necessarily bad. It all worked out in the end. But I lost my phone in an Uber Friday night. Literally got it back. Thankful again to my buddy Tony from the Vegas Inferno community. He came out, he went to the convention, he was able to drive me around, and like I was able to use his phone and stuff like that. And that's who ended up connecting me with the driver.
Were you able to save
the driver
on,
reported it. So
were you
like
able to save on Ubers?
Oh, that's good.
Of that?
I mean,
like you said, you brought his car.
We were taking a light rail.
There? Oh, cool.
He lived like an hour away.
Oh,
so
okay.
he ended up crashing in our room that Saturday, and then we hung out Sunday, and then he took off Sunday.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so that was huge. But yeah, overall, we'll get into it. Like I said, but great time was had out there. Saw people, saw friends. You remember Rob and Amber? Yeah, I saw them. Dude, I met them at a fucking country, or was it a country club? It was
country club is like golf.
Not a country club, but something
like a Western bar,
it was
right?
Some sort of like club. It was like a yacht club. I don't even know exactly what it was, but like I walked out like, yeah, dude. They were like, oh yeah, they are hella races here. So like, yeah. I was like, why would you guys have me come here? This is crazy.
Are you trying to get me murdered? What is this? This is a plot?
And like nobody called me out about it. Like
it
was weird.
Why were y'all there? Why were y'all there in the first place?
Because like Amber had something somewhere that she had to do because she's the general manager of I think KING up there. Mm-hmm. So in Seattle, I don't know what kind of affiliate it is, but yeah. So it was something that was close to where they had to go. So Rob and they took off and had to go do this thing, and Rob and I kicked it, and that's where we met up with some voodoo people and stuff like that, and like hung out and whatnot.
Nice.
And we had a good time. Quinn had their birthday. A bunch of us got together for that. And it was that Uber ride back home that my phone fell out of my pocket. And I realized it pretty quickly after getting upstairs. I did find my phone. I could see I was driving. And I was like, no, I left it in the Uber.
That is funny. Well, hey, at least it came back.
Dude,
but I got it back literally 30 minutes before I had to go to the airport. The dude dropped it off at me. I just can't
believe that was on that was Friday. I was like, that's the beginning of the thing.
I know.
Like, dude, I know. I'm gonna get you the pants that I wear to conventions because it's got a zipper pocket in behind your regular pocket. So like you put your phone in there and zip it closed. So when you go to sit down, it doesn't fall out and get stuck between the seats.
Smitty just needs like a little thing on the neck, like on the necklace and stuff, and put it in a plastic pouch.
Nah, dude, I'm usually pretty good about my phone.
That's so
I'm usually pretty good about my phone, but like it just was just an accident. I just didn't, I didn't realize it slipped out. Beyond that though, and still a great outcome came from that. So other than that though, great time. Did some great interviews over there. Again, like I said, I got to see old friends, made new friends, all that good stuff. So yeah, it's been a good week.
I'm gonna do a sidebar here for a minute, but this bastard over here with Smitty gets a chance to talk to the head of freaking Larian Studios, the president, the owner of Larian, and then he's like, "Oh, I don't have my camera. Hey, I'll be right back." What was it like? Oh, it's like, "Oh, let me go pick up my camera." He comes back. He gets his camera, comes back, disappears, completely gone. He got ghosted by Larry.
It was crazy because I went up and I talked. Hey, Sven, what's good, man? Love your shit. Blah 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 blah. And I was like, "Hey, man, like, would you have time to do like a quick 5-minute interview, real quick?" If I went and grabbed my camera, I should have just already had it on me. And he was like, well, typically you have to go, or he was like, well, Brad's back there from PR, but you know what, screw it. Just go grab it real quick and we'll do it. And I don't know if Brad heard or what, but by the time I came back, dude, he was gone.
You know what he did?
Never
he
saw him
probably
again.
said, probably said he turned his back around, then he just did a smoke bomb and just did ninja vanish in front of him. That's what happened. That's what happened. But
goodbye, Seattle.
Jesus. Exactly. He's like, my cover's blown. I must go.
Hug the Uber driver. I hugged him multiple times. I did. There are a lot of Africans there. I did not realize it. No, dude.
I was like, what?
I was happy that I got my phone because I had already written it off.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you weren't in a bad mood while doing that, because something like that can just totally make your whole.
I mean, what are you gonna do?
He rails
what are you. Gonna do?
Yeah. I mean, I know, but I mean, it's still kind of just what piss you off. I mean,
it was very uncomfortable. I couldn't reach people. I didn't have, you know what I mean? Like,
luckily
my only form was. Luckily, I had my laptop. I could still send messages.
MacBook,
yeah. But
luckily, you don't. Luckily, you weren't depending on like Apple Pay and stuff like that. You know, like if you did, you would have
right. I had my cards. Yeah.
So that would have been really bad. But
I would have been super boned.
Well, besides that, I know you had a good time. So
but
that's awesome.
Overall, it was great. Yeah. It was a solid PAX.
Good deal.
What about you, Mike?
Excuse me.
Oh, take it easy.
Oh man, I've been busy. Well, as always, but like I am. Luckily the eye has cleared, so I'm definitely good to go on that. It was kind of scaring me for a little bit because
put it on your pillow.
yeah. So like, what ended up happening was it kind of got me a little bit scared because so my eye was cleared from the completely. And but I was still seeing a little bit of double vision, a little bit of blurriness, and I was just like still freaking out because I'm like, man, do I have to get glasses again now? I mean, because I'm at that age now where it's like, you know, I might need to start doing it, you know, and I was trying to see if I need to go to if I need to go to an eye doctor and stuff, but no, my vision's back to normal now, and I'm good, and nice. And I'm able to play. I did a little bit of Dragon Ball Multi the day before they shut down, which is kind of cool because they gave everyone 1 billion zenny to open up everything. Yeah, to try it all out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. Yeah. So then they also had a really good survey about the game, and then like I
haven't done their survey yet. I saw it.
Oh, I gave them some pointers and stuff like that. Pointers, but my opinion on it. And I mean, I think the game can be something good, but man, dude, they need to do. There's so much to do. I think like we won't see this game until 2025, which is fine. Space it out. I don't care. But then I also was playing some Zenless Zone Zero. Got the Jane Doe character. Love that girl. That girl is tight. And was playing her for the past couple of days. But then on the end of the week, I just decided, you know what, I gotta play Fire. I've been debating on it. I should just do it. I started playing Astrobot, and my God, dude, like. I don't play platformers, but I don't play a lot of platformers. I do play platformers, but I don't play very much. It's been a long time for me to play a platformer that I had interest in playing and stuff. But this game is so good. It is like it is really, really good on like not only with the I think one of the biggest things I think that a lot of games are missing on the PS5 is the haptic, using the controller as part of the game, and it's been doing that since day one with the demo, and they're just adding more into it and stuff like that, and just that mixed with the surrounding of like the history of all the PlayStation IPs and stuff, like them dressing, like some of these bots dressing up as like characters from PS1 characters like Unjammer Lammy, Parappa the Rapper, the Solid Snake and stuff like that. You know, it's such a great game. I love it. I streamed it yesterday. Had a great time. I'm gonna play some more of it. I think I'm gonna stream that tomorrow. And so there's nothing but good things I could say about that game. I will never like get tired of it. I'm probably gonna play it.
I knew it, dude. I knew it was gonna be good, dude. I was like, I love what they did with that demo. And we had fun playing it as a family. So we'll definitely be playing again.
I mean, I don't think anyone was worried when this game was announced. Like everyone was actually really hyped that they were because prior to that, Astrobot was on. I think it was on the VR, PSVR as well. I believe on the PS4 too, but I'm not sure. No, it was on PSVR for the PS4. That's what it was. And so this is their first direct, like, full-on game rendition of that IP, and they did an incredible job. Team Asobi did an incredible job. So yeah, I like now it's like that is definitely. I mean, the list of game of the year is kind of dry this year, but I do. But this one clearly is definitely on top of it for me. You know. So, but I would urge it. So, but anyways, but which kind of leads me to my next point, which we'll just convert to that by saying, I know you don't want to talk about the incredible awesomeness of Astrobot, but let's go through the normal rigmarole that we like to do each and every week. So each of us chooses a topic in the world of video games from each of that happened in the previous week. The topic would or could be a game itself or something that happened in the industry as a whole, and we do not want to talk about it amongst ourselves. We want you, the listeners or viewers on Twitch and on YouTube, to be a part of the conversation as always. So if there is something that you're wanting to chime in, by all means, just type it inside the chats. We will love to talk and discuss it out with you as always. So God, dude, this week was so disappointing to hear. It's weird because like I was trying to find a title of this issue here, and because we called it a long time ago. Everyone called it a long time ago. It didn't take a rocket scientist to know about it, but we just knew that this was going to happen. But what I'm surprised about is how fast it happened, because this is unheard of for a company like Sony to be like, okay, we're going to 86 this, even though Sony's track record of saying if you say the R word, which is a refund, like they definitely shut that stuff down immediately. Like they totally stop you they stop selling it on their stores. They stop it from connecting to any of it because they don't want to give you the money back. But this one, they were more than happy to doing it. So, which kind of leads me to a couple of things though. So what I'm talking about, if you have not already heard by this week, was that Concord is being removed from the PlayStation Store. They're shutting down their servers. By the time we're hearing this, it's already happened. It happened on September 6th. So there was a post on the PlayStation blog, and God damn it, why they put this on the blog all the time. It's just like, come on, man. Just come on. You're like a billion-dollar like company, and you're using a blog to shoot out this information, man. It's just what. Anyways, sorry, that could be a topic in itself, so we'll go with that. But anyways, all right. So they posted on Concord on the PlayStation blog by the game director Ryan Ellis from Firewalk Studios, and I'll read the official post because that's probably going to do some justice in it. Concord fans, which is like 5 people. We've been listening closely to the feedback since the launch of Concord on PlayStation 5 and PC, and want to thank everyone who has joined the journey aboard the North Star. Your support and the passionate community that has grown around the game has meant the world to us. However, while many qualities of the experience resonated with players, we also recognize that other aspects of the game and our initial launch didn't land the way we intended. Therefore, at this time, we have decided to take the time and take the game offline beginning September 6, 2024, and explore options, including those that will better reach our players. While we determine the best path ahead, Concord sales will cease immediately, and we will begin to offer a full refund for the gamers who have purchased the game for PS5 or PC. If you purchase the game for PS5 from the PlayStation Store or PlayStation Direct, a refund will be issued back to your original payment method. Customers who purchased from other digital storefronts will also be refunded. More information about refunds from Steam and Epic can be found below. So they gave the information, and then skip all that. Oh, retailer refunds. For customers who have purchased a physical copy at the retailer location outside the PlayStation directly, please refer to the refund process that the retailer purchased it from to obtain your refund. Once refunded, players will no longer have access to the game. We'll keep you updated, and thank you again to all the free gunners who have joined us in the Concord galaxies. Oh God, I'm a free runner. That's what Lucentai said. How dare you? But yeah, so man, okay, so this is what it is, and I think Lex and I kind of talked about it a little bit last week about first party games or proprietary games, like new IPs and stuff, and this is, I know this kind of plays in the field of what you're worried about new games and stuff. But this game, I think, is way off to what the norm is, because this should be a case study in myself, because to say that the way that this game was marketed was terrible. This was I like to say, I think this game is a transitional game. This is probably the best way to describe that, because the game itself was during the time when when Jim Ryan was leaving PlayStation, and then they were showing the old with the push of, we're going to do games as a service as our next big thing to start supporting and to get our money, the money and stuff for all of this, but to say that it lasted as long as it did, because they not only bought a studio, they spent over $100 million for this game, and you're telling me that in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, they decided to just say, oh, you know what, we probably get more money on the return than we are going to get by keeping the servers up and trying to sell people on this game as a service, which, by the way, you had to pay $40 to get into the game, which is completely different, which is a tall order to do from all the other, 9 different other hero shooters there are out there. It's just insane. So I guess the question will naturally go back to who was this game made for? That it just, no one can say, and it's so disappointing to see that Sony thought that this was going to be the way that they could easily go into this I say incredibly volatile and risky plan without lackadaisical, and just assume that this was going to be a successful games as a service. And plus, the last thing I'll point out, this is going to show the other projects that may have not have been canceled already, because you remember Jim Ryan had the idea of wanting to make 10 game as a service games. At this point, I believe most of them have been canceled, except I think the big two is Marathon, which Marathon has to be successful for us to even hear the studio Bungie is still around. I would say, and then the other one I think it's called, I forgot the second one that's going to happen, but yeah. So this game was I felt that the game wasn't being pushed well enough. Sony knew in itself, especially the new regime, didn't really feel like they should back up this game. I think they knew that this was going to be a dud, especially when they saw the maximum amount of players on the free beta that was open. The maximum amount, I think, was only 2,700 people, and then when opening day happened, it shifted down to 700 to 800. So I don't know. This is a cluster of a mess, dude. For a game, and it's sad. I'm sad to see, I don't know how Firewalk is going to be around personally. I won't be surprised if the next thing we're going to hear in the next couple of months is they're shutting the studio down, or they're going to be downsizing to a ridiculous amount. So I just kind of want to get what y'all's thoughts are about this. What do y'all think?
So I remember seeing some of the commercials with the green guy. I was like, ooh, that looks interesting. I didn't even know it was being released. So it's funny that it's shutting down, because there's already a petition online to re-release it again. I'm not joking. So people are like, there's a change.org petition to re-release it. People are saying we were just all busy because it was the end of the month. And the people who wanted to play it didn't get to. We were all busy that week. Please re-release Concord again as the title of the petition. Concord, the hero shooter from Sony's Firewall Studios, being shut down on September 9th, only 3 weeks after its launch. They write, I truly believe this game has a chance and should be re-released.
No,
so
shut up. Not you.
But then I know. But then I'm looking at the reviews because I thought that Adam and I would end up playing this, and people are like,
that's why it should be a case study, because the game itself wasn't bad. Remember when Smitty and I, we were playing it and we were having a good time out of what we were playing it. The problem was the character. You didn't give a shit about the characters. The characters were terrible. Like the character itself was designs of those characters were
vanilla as hell.
Yeah, the game didn't have an identity whatsoever. Like the game itself, when they said, like, the reason why this game did not sell was in multi-platform levels, in my opinion. First off, I don't believe Sony believed in the game itself. Like the new regime that was switching over to it didn't believe in it itself. Two, the game itself looked so drab and so like kind of boring comparatively to other hero shooters that are out and what's coming out, like Marvel Rivals and stuff. Like it had no place to be. There was no originality to the point of this game to be like, this is what Concord is. This is what you can do in Concord. What's it called? Like Valorant is a mix of a hero shooter, but yet it's a little bit of Counter-Strike mixed into it that give it its own identity and stuff. They didn't have anything of that. This was basically just like a copy paste version of Overwatch Overwatch 2 that you had to pay $40 for to get into it. The modes itself, like Lucenta actually has a really good point on that. Was like the modes itself were not didn't make any really like, just, it was just boring. I mean, like overall,
that's what most of the comments are. It's like, you guys tried to be Overwatch 1 and create this love, but like you are missing that thing that makes the characters them, and like these characters are trying to be everything but end up being nothing, and we're missing that. Like, you want us to like these people, but like we can't relate to them on any sort of level.
It just looked terrible.
And on top of that, it's boring and repetitive.
But it's weird. Like, I think it's a tall order, and those people that are insane on doing a petition on that, because it's just stupid. Like the numbers itself as a whole at 20, like your maximum amount of concurrent players was 800 people day one. At this, so like it's not a matter of we were busy on the weekend, unless you're going to add another. Okay, you know what was the name of that new game that came out? That's
the most absurd.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like,
I was busy, Mom. I had homework.
It's like, what is that?
We were busy. Re-release it, please.
I know. I'm sorry. We didn't know it came out. Can you do us a favor, Sony, and just try to allow us another weekend or something?
I'm curious what came out around the same week that made people say that.
No,
doesn't matter. I mean, the one of the biggest indicators to me was them opening it up to all PS Plus members. That in itself said they did not have enough to do an actual test based off of people paying for the early access beta thing. So they just open it up to everybody so they can actually test it out. At least there. And like David said, it's fun. We had a good time, but there is nothing in there that's going to make me go away from anything that I'm currently playing.
Right.
Or freaking Marvel Rivals, like you said. I'm just sitting here waiting for that to come out, and I'm going to go hard in the paint on that. So why would I even invest the time now into this game? And the point that it's $40. What are you thinking? All of them now are free to play, basically, right? We saw Overwatch even try to do this, and it's like it ended up being terrible. So not only that, but they're like, oh, it's going to have a story. I don't give a shit about these characters. This is a new IEP. You have done nothing, Sony. Absolutely nothing to make me give a shit about these characters. So why is anybody going to invest? I think you're right. I think this is a Jim Ryan directive game that was already in the works, and there was no real
recourse to kind of.
They're like, shit, dude, we're just going to release this and see what happens. Again, though, I don't know that it's necessarily dead. I still think there's a possibility that they can, and again, that doesn't mean that I think it's going to be successful, but I think they may even turn it to a free-to-play game, make some, do some reworking of things and stuff like that, try to figure out a way to make some of that money back, because that's crazy. 8 years, $200 million for that? That's insane.
I was going to kind of come across that, but Lucette also said the point. Yeah, it's like, it's wild that this game was in dev for 8 years, which means it was chasing Overwatch. It has always been chasing Overwatch, which is the funniest thing.
That's
not
insane.
really funny. The disappointing thing is this: like, if this game came out at a time when we were starving for that kind. You remember, like, when Overwatch, it was like kind of the beginning, was the start of it. It was the beginning of that kind of genre of, oh wow, we're getting a lot of money because we're like the only people that was relevant and stuff. If they, like, 8 years is way too long to have a game that's supposed to be in the ether that should have came out maybe in, like, I don't know, 2017, 2018 or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just way too long. And then your character,
it would have had way more success then.
Somewhat. And I don't even know what that, because like I said,
even during COVID would have been great.
Yeah, maybe a COVID game, but like, I think the problem is that, like, you need to also relate that you care about your characters, and I think the biggest issue is that, like, I didn't care about any of these characters at all whatsoever, and then, like, unless they did something about that to be like, oh, this character like kind of focus more on like, why is these characters doing something like that? That could be one thing. I don't know, but they put their money, which is weird to me, was that they put their money on a lot of the quote unquote, remember they said they were going to do a lot of cinema, video, and stuff like that in this game. Like, they were also banking on that as well. And the fact that we didn't even have enough to have a season, like season 1 or season 2, like, just, it was we had 11 days, the fact that shows how bad this game was selling. I think they only sold 25,000 total, I believe, and it was the number. And I'm just like,
shut the front door. And they spent how much money?
$200 million. Yeah, $200 million.
On what?
Development, man, because I mean, this game has been around it was going for 8 years, so it's just like remember, we were making fun of that one dude. That's why I put him as the the dude from Temecula, that guy.
Temecula.
Well, like, so like, this is supposed to be like a Guardians of the Galaxy kind of world kind of thing, right? Then the character I have as the thumbnail literally has like a snow coat on, like from like the north, from like, look like a coat from like a thrift shop, and then has like some overall suspenders, some big gloves, and then has a rifle. And I'm like, oh, so is he a free gunner? I mean, what is it? Is that you're dressing for space? It's supposed to be chic casual? I don't know what that is, but yeah.
Billy, what the hell are you doing?
It's annoying, and it's annoying, and it's so sad to see that this game failed.
I think it's weird too, because I know that and I don't know if you guys, and I didn't really follow along or anything, but I know that there's been all this, especially with this. I think this game was like kind of targeted as one. They were saying like the DEI stuff and how it connects to that stuff, and like people being like, blah, go broke, and this and that. And like, I didn't even see, I don't know how that even plays into this game at all. I just know there's been rumblings of it, and it's like, that's weird, man. Like, what a weird thing to say. It's just,
they just want to have a reason. People want to have they just want to have a reason to say, oh, it's because of DEI is what failed.
Found it.
Like, it's not. It's just, it's stupid.
Oh, I found it. It's on Reddit.
It's
okay.
not a good game. That's all it was. I mean, it wasn't. It's not even anything about DEI.
Right.
Overcrowded genre.
Yeah.
Free to play genre. You didn't give the people that. Like, there's no. We talked about what's going to get people excited. I think a great like duality example is that, and then looking at what Marvel Rivals is doing. That in itself shows you how you could be successful in that space versus, and granted, it's Marvel IP, so like you like almost automatically get a boon.
They get
but
the
you're still
boost
gonna make a
because they
good
got
fun game.
Yeah. And well, they got the boost.
Yeah.
They got a double boost of this. One is the fact that they have the Marvel IPs with all the Marvel characters that people can relate to. So they already got that. Then two, the Netties also worked on Overwatch, so they also know what they're doing. So like
Overwatch, Once Human, freaking dude, NetEase got their hands in all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that like they have a step higher. They can do whatever the hell they're wanting to do right now, especially when they have the Marvel IP. It's like people are going to be in on that. We were already in on it when we saw, is it going to be it's a third person. People's biggest issue about that game was, it's going to be third person, not first person. And I was just
they were saying that about Marvel Rivals
before the first alpha, before the alpha came, though, people were griping because it was
a weird thing to be upset about.
I know, right? But they didn't like. I think it changed their mind when people actually messed with it. But anyway,
played it.
Well, yeah. I'm sorry, Lex.
It's amazing what happens when you actually play the game, as opposed to just forming an opinion about something you have no idea about.
Right. I'm trying to read about how it was woke. Yeah. And like, there's really there's nothing. There's literally like people are like so the guy who did like the sewage slime gun. He's a medic, but he looks like he deals with hazardous materials without his gun. He just looks like a guy who likes his job. His design doesn't convey at all what he actually plays like in the game, and seeing him wield a regular looking serious adult assault rifle contradicts. So like, it's not actually woke, but I guess there was a mob of people saying it just to say it, to like start this whole bullshit, but it wasn't even that
weird.
I don't.
Yeah, it's just people being.
It's
people
very
being
convoluted, right?
Yeah, it's just like like I said, that's why I ignore it, man. But overall, I'm just going by the merits of the game itself. And I will say this right now, because I know at the end of the year we like to do the our game of the years. This game is omitted because this is by default, this game is the worst game of the year. I mean, there's no.
Wait, whoa.
It would.
Just because it closed down, I would not automatically say it's the worst game of the year.
Really? Okay.
Yes, because I mean, look at something like Gollum. I mean, the game came out, it played, people bought it, and that game is dog shit.
That game was just.
That was my worst.
I don't think it automatically just gets worst game of the year. It's unfortunate that the service didn't come out, but like the game functioned. It played.
Okay.
And fun.
So you say, okay, fine. So you're wanting to keep it in. If Lex says keep it in, then we'll keep it in. But still, I don't know, man. It's just.
Wait, you're saying keep it in as game of the year?
Oh no, I'm saying in our competitions of keeping it, like to say if it's the worst or if it's if we. Well, I guess we can. I mean, at that point, it's any game.
I don't think there's any restriction on it. It's another game, but
people are playing it.
We still got a lot of year left. Where are we in September? There's still a lot of year left. So
I don't know if it's gonna be. I don't know if you could beat 11 days though. That's the thing, dude. Like a game to shut down in 11 days. It doesn't matter if it's functionally working. The fact that they had to shut it down because because people had no interest on it. Because technically, right now, mine, like I'm not even gonna lie, I think the worst game for me right now is Suicide Squad. Because like I think that like right now it's that is the same kind of genre. Which, by the way, that's another thing that we could talk about. Because like game as a service itself is so like. People need to my argument was game as a service is something that I think is the way developers are trying to get for it is that they're looking at it in the numerical numbers of like when it's successful, then we're going to get then we're going to get banks of money. I think folks need to stop thinking of it that way because it just seems like it is so hard. It is such a gamble. It is so much money to deal with all of this.
I don't think it's
devs
that's doing it, dude. I think it's execs and shareholders. that are doing that stuff, and they are so out of touch that they don't realize that phase has already passed, and they didn't jump on it, and they're not doing anything to be able to profit off it. They're just throwing money at shit, and they don't understand it.
I mean, but even to the point that like. So I mean, it sucks that Sony fell for that though too. It's like really of all like Sony is known for their first. It's definitely the push is definitely the shareholders within the company. I will give it that. But I'm just saying that like the fact that most companies or big studios or big developers are pushing to trying to have that kind of push of saying we need to get a game. We need to have our Fortnite, which by the way, Fortnite was accidentally made into that. So like it's not something that they were actually pointing into it. I just think that like they need like the mentality just needs to change somehow. So people just don't look at dollar signs when they see, wow, I can't believe Fortnite made $1 billion. They just need to just do what they're good at doing. Like I mean, Sony's known for their first party their story based games. Why would you go away from that? Is what I'm just.
Why would you deviate from the plan?
It is so weird to me on that. Like, but anyways, yeah. Wilbo says, "I only care about who holds the holdings." I mean, that's fair. If you have some money in the game,
the hot dogs.
Yeah,
He said, "I only care who holds the hot dogs."
Oh, the hot dogs. There you go. He's like, but I'm just saying that like, look at the amount of money that you're like. The risk doesn't even make any sense. The logic doesn't make any sense. Like you now have years of games that were canceled because of people's mentality of games as a service. Now, what is it like? It is such a it is such a drop in the bucket for a recent game like that to be successful. You would think that why would you risk putting the $200 million of quote unquote with your shareholders on that track, let alone Jim Ryan deciding to make 10 of them. I mean, come on, that is crazy. I mean, don't get me wrong, they did it right with what's it called earlier this year with Helldivers 2. But they let the game be the game because they gave a lot of the power to the developers until they got into their own heads and do what they did. It's kind of screwed up their community themselves. The company screwed up the community, not them, not the developer, but still. Anyways.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it. We're not gonna go through that. That's again.
Okay, I wasn't here that week.
Yeah, but anyways, So anyways, I don't even want to say rest in peace because I really don't even want to give a benefit.
Rest in pieces.
I mean, just like whatever, man. Like, just do better, Sony. Let's just say that. I think it's more that's more appreciative. Which is weird because they did do better with Astrobot a week this week. I mean, Astrobot probably won't be getting like the billions of sales comparatively, but it's just come on, do better, man. Just not deal with it. It felt like only a week ago when I was talking to Smitty about Overwatch and Concord. I know, right? If only. I'm sure it really has. But anyways, yeah, like the surprising way is like we knew this game was going to fail. I was surprised that the game failed as fast as it did. That's the thing. That's just the shock.
DOA, man.
Yeah, but the shock to say that they didn't even mess with the mess of like how most
nobody even asked for it.
Games. Well, yeah,
that's the thing is nobody even asked for it. Like, who was this game made for?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Rest in peace.
I feel like I also found your Reddit because the headline was, "This should be a case study." I was like, that's Davis's secret Reddit account.
It should be a case study. I find it very fascinating. Like the game,
I do too.
Worked. Yeah, the game worked. The game was all right. It wasn't like the best. It was just mediocre at best. And but still, I mean, for the game to fail so badly, for a company like Sony to be like, you know what, we're not even going to try. We're going to just remove it off of the off of everything we're going to give. And they openly said their option was we're going to give their money back. That is weird because Sony usually doesn't do that.
No. Yeah. Well, and what's funny, and you said it earlier, like, oh, they put it in the blog. I feel like. Correct me if you guys think I'm wrong. They put shit in that blog because they're kind of hoping people don't really hear about it until it's too late. You know what I mean? Like, I don't read the Sony blog.
No one
That's
reads
not
the
what
Sony
I
blog.
do.
Let me go check the Sony blog.
Let me go check the blog today.
Blog? Like, why would you put the most important things in a blog format?
They put this, hey, you know what? I need to go reach a person. Let me go use my, let me go in the news group real quick and just make sure that they've signed in on this.
I'm sure they have it. Put a correspondent on or something, dude. Like, you guys should have some better delivery system. We're in the 21st century, right? Let's come on. Let's act like it, Sony.
It's so ridiculous with PlayStation Blog. Anyways,
we put it in our blog post.
Didn't you get our page?
Like, sorry.
Like, come
sorry,
on.
Pager's been dead for 20 years.
Anyways. Smitty, what are you bringing to the table, man?
Yeah, just kind of a recap a little bit on PAX West 2024, as Wilbo was saying as well. Had the pleasure of staying with Wilbo, so it's always nice when you get to hang out with somebody IRL and stuff like that. So that was fantastic. But overall, it was the 20th anniversary. The merch store was kind of weird. There was a lot. I noticed there's a lot of lines that were just capped off, and I didn't get it until literally one of the last days that I was there, and we were walking by going to the Voodoo Lounge, I think, and there was no line or anything. It's like, oh, yo, I'm going to go in here real quick and grab some stuff. So that kind of sucked. I kind of wish that there was a little bit more preview time for media. I don't feel like an hour is a sufficient amount of time to, get in and truly be able to preview enough. You almost got to go in with a plan beforehand. Although, I mean, it's like the Wild Wild West. You're just going in. I'm going to try to hop in and get in as much as I can before the hour's up, and then they release the doors and everybody comes in and whatnot. Overall, great experience. Again, PAX West is Seattle in itself, I feel, is a very chill place to be in. Lots of great vibes, very eclectic culture and people. We stayed on the university, so even more so, we saw a lot of younger people and, just different ethnicities and things like that. So it's really refreshing being able to go into a city like that and feel at ease, not having to worry about any of that stuff. Like I said, I lost the shit out of my phone. So, that kind of made things a little difficult, but we made it work. We still got our interviews in. Again, being able to take the light rail down to the convention center was super easy, right around the corner from where we were staying. So that made it super simple. It was nice being a lot closer, even though we weren't as close as we wanted to be, which again was on me and just me getting my things in for the hotel. So, I thought that was, it ended up working out. So again, I feel like PAX is a great place to be able to sit down with, and I don't really do so much of the big name stuff and whatnot. I feel like those are the places where you're going to encounter all the lines and things like that, but really hitting up some of the smaller devs, some of the indie devs. It was great. I got to sit down with Justin Woodward, and we stood up. And he's a creative director for Jay and Silent Bob Chronic Blunt Punch, and just being able to talk about how they end up getting the license to use the IP for Jay and Silent Bob. It's a great story. Speaking with Hero for Ender Magnolia. I started Ender Lilies. That is on PS Plus. So I downloaded it and started just from that little playthrough I had. Was great. So it's such a great opportunity to really get down and sit down with these people that are making games and have a conversation with them. So they do a fantastic job of that. Plenty of art, crafts and different things to buy. There's lots of great food and stuff like that to do around that area. I felt like this year also felt a little more chill. There weren't really too many, other than the mixed party and the Polish party, and I think there might have been
you
something
went to
else,
the
or
Polish
maybe
party?
not. Nah, dude, I didn't even make it out. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I didn't have it in me, dude. It was on Sunday. I didn't have my phone. Freaking, my body felt like Jello. I was like, I don't got it in me.
Wait, what's a Polish party?
It's like, I think it's like these Polish developers, and like I heard they throw this amazing party, but like I think it's like at somebody's house, and like, dude, I didn't have the mental capacity to try to handle any of that.
Yeah, no kidding.
I was just like, nah, this is the day before I'm leaving. I'm just gonna chill in a hotel and whatnot. So it was like, nice.
I've never been to PAX. But I did go to PAX. I went to PAX East. That's a lie. Sorry, but I've never been to PAX West, and I've been. That's one of the places I've been always wanting to go to. Who knows? Maybe want to try for next year. But
yeah.
But the biggest thing I will say though, it's like you when you're saying like, oh, you didn't have enough time. It's like if only there was an event where it was supposed to be just for press only. That it was like an expo that you could do in the beginning of summer that they could have that they were doing for the past 30 years, and then until all of a sudden when they opened it up for the public, it was destroyed. So I'm sorry. Like I know you probably this is your first time that you've experienced that, but you kind of somewhat. I'm talking about this when I was talking about on my side of what I do when I go to these events, but I'm saying that like it's. Like you can now kind of understand why I was a little frustrated when they're bringing regular.
Oh yeah, no, I totally understood. I did the same thing happen at I think it was PAX East.
Oh yeah.
As well, where similar situation where the preview time isn't really long at all.
Yeah.
And for the second time, because that happened at PAX East as well. Somebody gave me shit about my tripod being out. They said no. So in the lanes, they said I couldn't have it folded. And I was like, well, can I do it like a monopod? And he was like, well, technically you gotta hold it. And I was like, dude, like that shit ain't light. I was like, come on, man. And he was like, he was like, in their booth, we have no control over. In the walking lanes, you can't have it out. So
I'm gonna make sure next year.
The day before though, like nobody said anything to me about having it out.
I'm telling you, it's because
that's where I come in handy.
Yeah, the person that you were talking to was the one that was flexing the guns, because that is stupid to even like to say if you're a press and they know that you have that kind of level of credential.
You have equipment.
Yeah, you have equipment.
It's heavy.
They can't just tell you or expect you to say, oh no, we can't use the tripods. You have to use your hands to do it. Let alone if you're by yourself, so it's like, what kind of logic is that?
Dude, when I did the interview with Able Gamers, Adam, he was like this, holding all the equipment while I was doing, you know what I mean? Like he looked so goofy. He was like, I cannot move. I have one finger left. Just put it there. Because like I couldn't hold anything. And like we had a table, but it just didn't work. So yeah, no, absolutely not.
I'd put my foot
they said,
down
and
on
again, to their credit, they said in the booth, that's not
it's
their
up to
area.
them.
So I could have it. I could have it out, but like. And I kind of get it too, because like if you think about,
I understand the clarities of the booth and stuff. But if it is as clear as day, like obviously,
I was just grabbing some B-roll. I didn't even step away from the camera or anything. I was actively gathering B-roll.
Yeah, if you are literally blocking traffic and you're the cause of it, I can understand them to say something. But if you're not,
right,
and you're just doing that kind of deal, and then they're going out of the way and they're trying to be. What's it called? Proactive, then they shouldn't be doing that. I'm just saying they shouldn't be doing that. That's just me. I don't know. But anyways, the PAX looked like it was fun. Was there any like secret or was there any surprises? Like do you have a favorite thing that you attended that you while you were there?
You mean like specifically like a PAX event,
game, whatever, like what you liked or what you were surprised when you checked it out?
Yeah, well, it was cool. So I did get to check out a little bit of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers beat 'em up game. That looked pretty cool, dude. Five Nights at Freddy had a crazy ass booth. Like they had like a whole,
ask you all about that
birthday party thing, like where they did this whole like they ran a whole like live show there and stuff like that, and like people from the crowd were like they were lining up because they were a part of the birthday party as well. Like, yeah, no, it was like they had a giant, like it was a big thing. It was really cool. Wow, and then of course cool. The Nintendo thing, like Nintendo had like they had a big area in the corner as well, and they had like different stations with like NES championships, what the hell is it? Mario Party Jamboree that's coming out, Star Wars Hunters. Because I was talking a little bit with them, and they said some of the devs were there, huh?
I was going to ask you about that. I totally forgot about that.
Like, they did, but like I mean, by the time I never got back around to actually figuring out, and like it just filled up with just people and stuff like that.
Dropping the ball, Smitty.
I'm dropping the ball, dude. But like again, you got to remember, man, not having my phone was very disorienting for me as well. So like it was hard to like get settled in, and like there was always like a constant like anxiousness going on because I didn't know what the hell was going on either, dude.
I just like
my last interview, I was a little bit late just because I had to take the light rail. I had no phone, and you know what I mean. So like I had to take the light rail over, and then like I got off at the wrong stop, and like I was gonna walk it, and I was like, nah, dude.
Oh, when you got off,
like the train, like the. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So like it's like a train, underground train. I mean,
it's funny, Will, but it's funny because Will said don't drop the like. It's like, dude, like seriously, like 3 weeks we were like working on this stuff. It's like, okay, this is what we need to do. This is the plan. We need to get here's your emails for the person. We get you at this day at this time. We'll get you like make sure that you're there early and stuff like that. Stuff like that. Make sure that you're set up. Like, so you got this. Like, okay, yeah, sure, we'll do it. First day, drops the fucking phone. He loses the phone the first day.
No, that wasn't the first day. That was the second day.
Oh,
first day, and this is how I knew it was gonna go sideways. I got to the airport hella late. Got my bag checked in late. God. I didn't dare like just a late check-in. I don't know what that means. Apparently that means something, and this is what it means.
Yeah, late so check-in is a mess.
Yeah, no. So my luggage did not go on my flight. My luggage went on a later flight, and like that came in like I don't know 4 hours after I got in. So I ended up having to go back down to the airport that first night. That's literally like basically all I did. I went from the airport to the hotel, checked in, chilled out for a little bit, and then had to go back to the airport. Apparently, SeaTac gets super busy at night. Took me 2 hours to get there and back to get my luggage. And then by the time I got back, it was like midnight. That's how I started out.
No.
So that was already knew that this was not going to happen.
Already knew. I was like,
knew it was not going to happen.
Shenanigans. Like, come on, dude. Just I got to keep it together. Keep it together.
Jesus Christ. Anyways, but anyways, but no.
But overall, it's fantastic.
So what you're saying is that I need to be there next year to make sure the shit moves by smoothly.
Yeah.
Me too.
Okay.
Exactly. It's great. It's in like Seattle. It's an expensive city, but it's a fun city.
Yeah. Oh no, I mean
Seattle seems like my people.
That was a great city.
Sure. Like
the
convention.
The convention center is great. Yeah, the convention center is great over there.
The convention center, they've got a great convention center. I still hate that it's like one's like a couple blocks down the way, but it's not so bad because like basically anywhere you walk in Seattle, you're going to be walking up a hill at some point in time.
Yeah, there was
no. I need
There's
a scooter.
Hotel that's literally like right next door. I think it was called like the Red Lion or something like that. I don't know if it's there anymore, but like it was that's where I stayed when I was there for SakuraCon, and I was like, man, if I can get this hotel every time, I would love to do that. So we'll see.
Right.
We'll see how that goes. But no, that's good, dude. I'm glad that you had a good time. I'm glad everything was eventually was sorted out. At least you didn't have to buy a new phone or anything like that. So that's great. So okay.
We made it out alive.
Yeah. But all right. Well, Lex, why don't you close us out? What do you bring to the table?
My turn. So, apparently, the SAG-AFTRA union strike began on July 26th. So I feel like we got out of one only to go right back into one, if I'm not mistaken.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah. So basically, if you don't know, actors who are part of the SAG-AFTRA union they also represent not just the actors that you see on screen, but voice actors as well. So they have finally announced that there are 80 games and obviously their correspondent developers who have agreed to the terms over the use of AI, while voice actors and mocap performers continue to strike against major industry players. So the contract includes both tiered budget and interim agreements. So that sounds great. And will allow performers more employment opportunities as the strike continues. So there's still a lot of information that we don't quite know yet. But SAG-AFTRA has said that, we applaud those video game companies signing our tiered budget and interim agreements. Not only are they doing the right thing by their workers, they're also helping to preserve the human art, ingenuity, and creativity that fuels interactive storytelling. These agreements signal that the video game companies in the collective bargaining group do not represent the will of the larger video game industry. So as of right now, where did it go? Sorry, the background is white and it's so hard to see. So as of right now, the 80 games in total, the companies involved are EA, which I was a little surprised, Activision, Take-Two, which we knew they would absolutely agree, and WB Games. There are some more, and we know that it has been confirmed that GTA 6 will be unaffected by the strike, and current live service games are also exempt from the strike action, which I found a little interesting. But I was curious what you guys thought. Before we started filming, Davis had said some things that I didn't know about the mocap. So if you would like to regale us, sir.
Oh, well, the strike is basically the strike has been basically isolated to mocap artists. The mocap artist is encapsulated with the voice actors union. So that's what they're protected by with SAG-AFTRA. Now the problem is that there was, I believe, if I remember correctly, because we talked about this when it happened with Lou Sentai. But what happened was that they had demands. They had like 25 demands, and then they came back with they agreed with 24 of the 25 that they came back on. The one demand that they are saying no to, like a solid no to, or they're holding out on, is the fact that they're not trying to change the process for mocap actors and actresses. So essentially they're saying they're wanting AI to allow them to be able, or they'll be able to record and use AI for any future references for any of those actors and actresses. So that's where the strike is at right now. Like if they agree to this one thing, then the strike will be over.
To break that down in layman's terms, if I'm mistaken, please correct me. So like, let's say I'm in Lord of the Rings. I do mocap. I'm playing a snake. Okay. And it's for Activision. That's not happening. But let's just hypothetically. Activision says later on that they're going to make another game. They want my mocap that I already recorded through them, and they're going to take that and use AI to generate this new character based off of my mocap movements.
Exactly.
Correct?
Yeah, and you don't get paid for it.
And you don't get paid. Correct.
Yeah, exactly.
You got paid for the one job. Suck it up.
Yeah, so that's
which is bullshit.
Yeah, which is what everyone is unanimously saying is bullshit. And then I think one of the biggest people that were saying it was Jennifer Hale, who big person for this thing, which, and all more power to her on it, because it is BS. Although it would be kind of funny if they had they use the mocap designers for like Just Dance, and then they use that same design for like a Madden in the future or something. That would be pretty funny. But anyways, so this is just the temporary pull of what like they've already agreed to a certain level that we didn't know what they agreed on the back end. I guess that they're extending it because they're assuming that it's going to take longer than they're anticipating. Right now, we're not feeling the hurt of it, but next year, man, I feel like next year we're going to be seeing a lot of games getting pushed back because of this, and I'm not saying that they should hurry up and try to get this fixed. They need like, not on the actor side, they definitely need to just get off their freaking high horse and pay the people that do the job, and stop worrying about like and yes, it's going to be more expensive, but at the same time, like pay what they're due. I don't understand, like, if you're wanting to do AI and you're wanting to do it like that, fine, but you definitely have to pay for it. Like, you can't be a stingy piece of shit like that, and then just not expect them to a person to not voice their deal on it. It's their work. It's their freaking work, you know? It's like, you can't, like, that's what makes me angry. But anyways, I digress.
I almost feel like that could end up turning into like a human rights violation, because it's your body. You were paid for one contract. Granted, you always read your contracts, people. Please, please, please. Like, it's your body. It's your right to state whether you are part of a project or not, whether that's your job full time or not. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I feel like they're getting into so much gray area.
Yeah,
it's
but
like,
we'll never know. We'll never know who it's going to be on what, because it's mocap. So like, it's like, who knows what's going to be on the. You know, this reminds me of. And this is actually kind of funny. It reminds me of Back to the Future, because this is the exact situation that Crispin Glover had. Like, because like the if you don't know Back to the Future, that's crazy. But if you don't know what happened with Back to the Future, Crispin Glover was Marty McFly's dad in the past. So he was having issues with the producers and stuff with the set, that he decided not to do Back to the Future 2. But what they did was that they
weren't paying him enough.
Yeah. They had molds. They had different kinds of things to make him look older at the time. And they decided to use those said molds and stuff like that for the new actor that was taking his place in Back to the Future 2, which caused them, which basically made it, but they did, the job looked like it was Crispin Glover, but it wasn't Crispin Glover. It got to a point where it was like he was being credited for that role, in which he did not want to be credited for, and he just sued, because it's like, that's not me, but I'm getting credit for a shitty job I did, for a role that I didn't even do. It's going to cause me damage in the long run. So this is the same. I mean, it's like, I don't know what the overall thing was at the end of all of that, but it caused him to hate the Back to the Future because of that, and the people behind it. Like, because he, like, if you see him on any kind of podcast about talking about it, you can just sense the vitriol hatred that he has against this against that project.
Has to be so frustrating too. And like, it wasn't AI, it was special effects, which in turn back then was, our version of AI now.
It was still
and it's
physical, but I mean, it was still like, they took his likeness.
Yeah, absolutely. They took his likeness, and that's not, and if I'm not mistaken, they used his face molds to then create molds to make the actor who didn't look just like Crispin Glover look like him, and then aged him on top of that. And it's like, wait a minute, like, I took those molds so you could age me, not age this dude who looks like the budget Wish version of me, Yeah.
Well, Donk is keeping us straight on this. He says it's training the AI based on the performances. The output in the future will be new animations based on the deep learning of the previous performances. I definitely understand. Yeah, definitely. That makes sense. That makes sense on it. But the fact is that since they're learning from that source directly itself, they in some sort of way are responsible for that to happen. In which I feel like they would still need to compensate towards that. But then again, though, too, that's also going to lead to a rabbit hole, though, too, because now, since AI, a piece of AI or artificial intelligence now has that technology to copy, mimic, and learn it, then now they have it in their stored database that they basically just antiquated the learning at this point for any kind of, like, any kind of future projects within that studio or that company. I mean, I guess that's also maybe just a fear in general. But anyways, what do you think, Smitty? I mean, I know you've been kind of quiet this whole time on it.
Yeah, no, and we knew this too when there was that initial SAG-AFTRA deal that went through. Like, I feel like they kind of botched it with what they did with AI and the agreement that they had made. I think they did not consider a lot of things, hence why we're in this situation now. I mean, to be honest, I never even thought about mocap being, within that and the use of it within AI. Because clearly that is also that's just as problematic as a voice or anything else. So it's good that they're doing it. It's good that there's these companies that are in good faith right now signing that provisional contract saying that we won't use this and we're gonna adhere to those terms. I think that's a great good start good
off.
fate. Move. And I think it shows other people, and we'll get other people to, there's a problem here. Obviously, there's holdouts. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in this strike right now. So eventually it'll get resolved. However, you're right. We won't see the impacts this because it's a little different, especially with the live service. Because I think at some point, though, I think it's, what is it? It's something with live service. You're right. They're exempt, but like, they come back into play for like DLC or something like that. Like there's some way that they will eventually have to fall under these rules as well. But again, we'll look at, and this is kind of the tell for people on where these companies stand, I guess you could say, morally, within whether they're on this side of, yes, people should be paid for their work. We're going to utilize these tools in that fashion. That's not saying they're not utilizing those tools at all, but in the fashion to replicate a real person and try to pass it off. I mean, to me, one of the most egregious ones is from, oh my goodness, what is that new free-to-play, First Ascendant? That one character in First Ascendant is so like noticeably just bad. Yeah. Oh no, it's an AI voice for sure. It is. Yeah, it is noticeably bad though. Good. But I know they get much better than that. So, I think this is more of a tell of where the industry goes. These are protections and things that need to happen. It is inevitable as the technology, gets smarter and better, faster and faster. We have to be able to change with that and see that there's certain just protections and things that need to be put in place, especially depending on what your career is, what you do and stuff like that. And this could even have an effect on something that you haven't even thought about yet.
Movies.
So the implications here, I think it's going to sets a really good precedent moving forward with AI in the entertainment space.
And just to clarify, the reason that live service games are not included is because they were all in production as of right now. And the ones that haven't technically been released yet, they were all in production before August 25th of 2023. So they are not covered by previous contractual agreements, but you're correct. They will come into play later on down the line, but I can't find a clear definition as of, like all of the details of why. But but a lot of those live service games are also compensating their actors properly. At the moment, nobody's come out and been like, hey, they used me and I only got paid $5 and blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So like, we're not really there yet, but I'm glad like we're getting somewhere because AI is fantastic. I love the prospects of it. It's just we need to make sure that we're covering all of our bases and that everyone is protected in the agreements between actor and company. You know what I mean?
Well, and I think the other thing too we have to take into consideration, me being a dumb American, I'm thinking from a very Western standpoint. So the implications of this is I feel like worldwide. And and I don't know what the temperature or how other countries feel about this as well. So I'm curious to see some of these other places and depending on what happens, what kind of effect it'll have in other places outside of the States.
No,
You're
totally. Well,
you know
it's
what's
going to
interesting?
be separate though, because like SAG-AFTRA is SAG-AFTRA
doesn't
international.
cover-
I think it's just only in the
Well,
U.S., right?
I believe it's only U.S. But I know that there's a contortionist who is working with a company that does AI overseas. For obvious reasons, because most actors can't bend themselves in half, right? So, they have to use her for a lot of. Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. I can lick my toes backwards. She's working with a company overseas, and I know that she's been in the UK and then in the Netherlands and so on and so forth. But she's part of SAG-AFTRA, but that's a different contract. And she's kind of talked about it on social media, but she was, I keep wanting to say Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. That's not it. One of those shows where it's like, my act could be in Las Vegas. Anyway, but yeah,
Okay,
interesting.
Well,
She's getting paid a lot.
Well, hopefully, we'll pray to God that these companies will get together and stuff. It's like I said, it's a good act of good faith that some studios are stepping up on it, and I know the more of the bigger studios that step up to agree on these terms on the outside before SAG-AFTRA's like unanimously say yes, because they're going to eventually have to bend the knee on this because obviously they're not going. They don't want their actors always like to they're going to stick together hard on this, and for this kind of topic, this is fighting for the future of the business itself. So yeah, they're not going to. They shouldn't back down. They won't back down, and. Oh, SAG-AFTRA is international? Okay, cool.
It is. So if you're part of SAG-AFTRA, anywhere that you work overseas, you are covered.
Okay, cool. So yeah. So I just think that this is just going to be inevitable to a point where either they have to have something more reasonable, something reasonable to kind of to go both ends, which I don't think is going to happen. It's going to be all or nothing. But yeah, it's so disappointing that that's where we're at right now with this.
Not surprising though.
Not surprising at all. You're totally right. It's so bad. It's so bad.
People are greedy, especially companies. I mean, how much are eggs right now? Let's, that's not
terrible.
Inflation. That's greed.
Yeah. Folks, thank you for listening to episode number 234 of the CFG Game Cast. Thank you for being a part of the conversation as always. We will be back again next week with a whole new set of different kinds of topics. But if you did miss out on this episode, that is perfectly all right. You can always check out all this podcast live not live, but you can always download this podcast on all podcast services at the beginning of each and every Monday. So there is absolutely no reason to miss out on our sexy voices.
Oh boy.
Yeah, guys, also be sure to check out some the awesome content that we have on confreaksgeeks.com. And I finally am releasing episode number 2 of Fat Nerd Chronicles on YouTube here at the end of Friday Friday. So definitely stay tuned on that. It's going to be pretty cool. I talk about my workout regimen. So
nice. Can I be Skinny Nerd Chronicles?
Yeah, you can if you want.
No ass Nerd Chronicles.
Yes. So there we go. But guys, thank you so much for stopping by, and we will see you next week. So this is Davis, Lex, and Smitty signing out. Y'all take it easy.
Okay, I'll lay you.